doing something a little bit different this week, but hope you guys are still tuning in and enjoying the podcast. I know we're definitely enjoying doing it. So we appreciate all the support that we've had. And before we dive into the special guest and the big announcement, I kind of wanted to give a rundown of the tournaments going on this weekend and where you can watch those at. So first off, yes, our special guest is Mr. Dave Mirikitani. We've been working with him for a couple years now, and I've just gotten the pleasure of working closely with him the last year. And then our big announcement is something to do today with Dave, and I will let that explain itself later in the podcast. But as for tournaments this weekend in Oklahoma, we have the Tomahawk Throwdown in Comanche, Battle for the Bell at Carl Albert, Wolverine Classic at Vian, and then Rumble on the River in Verdigris. Deadlines for all of these are Wednesday night. Some of them are 11:59. Usually they're 11:59. So go get registered before Wednesday at 12 o'clock. And then of course, kickoff is this weekend, both Friday and Saturday. For all the athletes competing in that, good luck. Good luck. First one on to the Trinity Award. And where to watch at. So Rumble on the River will be a Boutboard and Rockfin event. Wolverine Classic, Battle for the Bell, and Tomahawk Throwdown, along with Kickoff, will all be on Flow. So, as for that, I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of the podcast, because we definitely had some fun talking with Dave. So I'll let you guys enjoy that.
So, welcome, week 3 of our podcast here at EWP, and we're joined by special guest Dave Mirikitani. Welcome,
I don't know how special, but guest for sure.
Yeah, very special. Yeah. So Haley, of course.
Hello.
Myself, Jeremy. So let's just kick it right off with, let's wrap up that great weekend we just had together, Dave.
It was great seeing you guys in person. Tulsa's always, because of folks like yourself, when Joel Kester was here, the Matt Serbers of the world, even like Baldo Rodriguez, who manages the Arena Pub, like we always have a place to go in between sessions. And, Grant Turner from Nike and I got to hang out a lot together. We had Turner Ross do the podcast with us, the in-between ones. That young man's going to be a superstar, by the way. Talk about a kid that loves wrestling and knows it. And he might have had some nerves, he told me, but it didn't show. Like he knows what he's talking about. And a dang good wrestler. You win Fargo, you get invited to Who's Number One. Like you ain't leftover crumbs, that's for sure. So it was an interesting weekend, right? Like you guys are Cowboy fans. Like I think if I'm a Cowboy fan, it's very interesting, right? Like 3 guys stock way up, right?
Yeah.
Vega, Robidou, Lockett, way up. By the way, one of those guys was a Border Brawler. 2 of them were Hall of Fame dual guys. Just saying. Okay.
Awesome.
And, but, your stock's down a little bit at 25. 25's now turned into craziness like it's been the last couple of years. Everybody beat everybody. 33. Yeah. The rumor is Figs went home, like left, like got on an Uber and went home. Swiderski hasn't looked the same since the All-Star meet. Ryder hasn't looked the same since the All-Star meet. And Doucette physically looks a lot better. But if he places round of 12 or round of 16, that's a 1-point difference, and he's not on the podium. But you have finals possibilities now. I mean, Sergio Vega is probably ranked number 2 this week. That's where I would rank him. And I did the rankings for track for 5 or 6 years. Like he has to be. He beat Brock Hardy, and it wasn't close.
Right.
Yeah. Are you guys optimistic? I'm curious your guys' thoughts.
So, I go ahead. You go ahead.
No, you.
Okay. So, I went into it with kind of an open mindset around, how good would the freshmen be. I had high hopes for, guys like D and some of those. But, Vega and Robideau to come from where they did and just being an unknown to me, and then just putting on a pure display of excellence and how great and how dominant they were, especially with Vega over, the number 2 guy with Nebraska there, Hardy. Yeah. I think I was super impressed. I was very impressed. Even at 33, the guy that we subbed in there, I thought did a really good job. His only loss was to a pretty highly ranked guy, right?
Ronnie Ramirez got the first takedown against Ayala. By the way, the troops are coming. Jax Forrest is transferring down there in January.
That's awesome.
I told you that off the air, but
Yeah.
super reliable source is graduating in December. So I do have a couple qualms with you, Jeremy, when you say, I had reasonable expectations. Like when we're sitting there watching the fights and you go, or on the Friday night, you're like, it's going to be 60-0, 60-0, 60-0.
That's our boy at low single.
You didn't say that, but you are very pro Oklahoma State. But I love people that are passionate about their groups, and root for them. Like it's fun. Like when you walk into a sports bar, like who you here for? Like it's fun. Or like somebody's wearing a Nebraska shirt, like go Big Red, and it's all friendly, right? Like nobody's fighting in bars or hotels and stuff. Like it's everybody just rooting. I almost feel weird because I'm agnostic because like I get along with everybody. Most everybody's been on the show. And I root for kids. I know. Like I root for Angelo Ferrari because he was in Border Brawl. I root for Lockett because he was in Border Brawl. And, those families, you get to know them a little. I've known Jasper. I coached against Jasper in junior college. That's Dee's dad, for anybody who doesn't know. And that's a great story. The Dee's 9th grade year, Jasper calls me and goes, "Can you get my son a match?" And I go, "Is he any good?" Well, he hadn't whistled yet. Like he was coming into his freshman year, right? Like that in the fall one that you come up for in September. He goes, "Dude, he won Tulsa." I go, "Okay." I said, "I didn't know." I said, "I believe you. If you tell me he's good, you could tell me anything. I believe you." Yeah. So he came in with Angelo, JJ McComas, Aiden Thomas, and John Smith's son, Sam. They all came together.
Yeah. That's a pretty packed crowd there.
That's going to age well, as the kids would say. Yeah. So, but Haley, you and I talked about this last week. We're working on another project and talking about the importance of networking and knowing these people, and person X helps you with person Y,
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I will summarize the national duels with this. I don't think anybody was beating Ohio State this weekend.
No.
And I know somebody who picked them 2 weeks ago. I'll just say that. Somebody 2 weeks ago and told you it's not as good as you being right about Wyatt Hendrickson. Okay, it's not. Okay, yeah. It's like and I know it's not good because I know what the odds were on both of those. So, Can we tell the Wyatt Hendrickson story, Jeremy?
Please Go for it.
Okay, so we're at the national finals. You and I spent a lot of time together because I shouldn't say you helped. You produced Border Brawl, which was Prep Sources, everybody there. For people that don't know, if you work with Jeremy, you just tell him where the hardline Wi-Fi, or Haley, you tell him where the hardline Wi-Fi is. You tell them what time lunch is going to be there, and you ask them if they need anything. And if not, they just they crush life for you. And they're the best because they just do it, and you don't have to worry about anything. And as a person that has been lucky enough to run some fairly successful events, that's what you want. You like that box is checked. I don't need anything, so.
We appreciate the kind words.
We appreciate that.
Listen, I don't lie. And if it sucked, I would tell you. So you guys are the best. You guys kill it. So anyway, Jeremy's been telling me, Haley, since the Big 12s, like Wyatt Hendrickson's winning national. I'm like, bro, he ain't beating Kirkfleet. And forget about Gable. Now, if I had known Kirkfleet was hurt, I would have said he could have made the finals. I think I get a mulligan on that one. Okay.
I'll give you that.
But no, to this day, I think I'd pick Gable in the rematch. So, I mean, but anyway, So we're at the Fan Fest at the Resolite thing on Saturday afternoon. Like my boy's winning tonight. I'm doing the pregame show. So I go, I'm picking Gable, but my friend who I love, who I think might have had one too many, is picking Wyatt Hendrickson. So anyway, I'm on the floor. Jeremy joins me on the floor. We don't have to say how that happened, but he joins me on the floor at around 197. I mean, and people are kind of milling in and out. And we get up to about, 5 rows from the mat for the final?
Yeah, we're close. We're definitely close.
Very close. Yeah. So, Haley, the match is what it is. And I say to him, I go, your boy's hanging around. Like, Gable had to put him away. Like, I mean, we all know matches like this, right? Like, like you guys let me play with Tinker Toys and I'm somehow doing a good a job of streaming as you are. You're like, we need to bury this dude. He just
don't give the underdog a shot. You just don't give the underdog a shot.
Don't give him life. And then he gets that takedown and the place goes nuts, obviously. Gable tries to come up hard one time and doesn't. And then there's that crazy thing where Caldwell and Taylor are hugging and they're going crazy. So I looked to hug Jeremy. This man is on the floor. He is on the floor.
I was excited.
Like a smudge. I was like, dude, get up. I think we're on camera. Get up. Get up now.
It's gotta be on camera.
Somebody said that. Listen, when you do what I do, you're always aware the cameras are, right? Like, you're aware of cameras and hot mics. And you got to be very wary of both. You know, and you guys are great at warning people too, like, hey, the mic is hot.
Yeah.
Speak like your mother's here. Speak like your mom's listening. You know, that solves a lot of problems, right? Especially with my mom. Like none of us are saying anything bad with Jan there.
No, very much not. Yeah.
So Haylee, Jeremy had a flight, I think, like at 4 a.m. So we went out and sat at some cool little, like, it looked like the bar out of Swingers, like with all like the red velvet and nobody's in there. I don't know how we found it. This dude must have said, I can't believe that 87 times.
I believe that.
He said, besides the day I got married and the birth of my children, this is the greatest day of my life. I said, that's a very important 4 seconds you put on the front end of that.
That's very important. Very important 4 seconds.
Like you are now welcome back home in Sperry. Yeah. Otherwise, you'd be moving to St. Louis. You'd be on the couch at Casa de Mirikitani. So it was just great, though, because like I respect the historical significance of that event. Okay. I think we all do, but you're a fan. You guys are fans. And Wyatt's been your guy the whole year, Jeremy, and you, Haylee. So like you guys rooted for him the whole time, and I can't root for people. So to be with somebody who's one of the best people I know and watch this happen, and I was like, this is dope. You know, like I'm not rooting for anybody. Feel really bad for Luke Becker right now, but this is wild. Like my man's going crazy.
Yeah. And so just to clarify a Facebook post from early in the day, I might have been standing next to Gabe's brother there when I posted that about who was going to win that finals match as he's watching me type out who I'm picking. So I might have been off on one little post there, but I did have some influence standing over my shoulder as we were hanging out with Gabe's brother and his family. So,
well, I mean, you talk about Lacuna Matata. Bobby at one point did a song with Ethan. We'll call him Carl.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Who's my guy and who now likes you more than me, but that's okay. That's all right. Okay.
Yeah.
But no, you guys are, by the way, next time you rent a car, try to find something even more inappropriate than what you got the last time.
You didn't like the convertible we were in?
I mean, maybe if you could get a mini.
I'll tell the story just real quick. I'll tell the story.
Go ahead.
So I'm walking through the airport at St. Louis, flying out to the Border Brawl event out there early in the week, and I hear a Rooks, and I'm like, that wasn't my name, and I just keep walking. And I hear it again, Rooks, and I'm like, that was definitely my name. Who is saying my name? And I start looking around, and it's Ethan. Ethan's at the St. Louis airport. He's getting on the same flight I'm getting on, and we're both flying Southwest. So we're like, cool, pick your seats, right? So we first we hop on, sit next to each other, and on the way out there, we're debating logistics. Where we're gonna stay, like where's he staying? He's got like a just a place downtown somewhere. I'm at that hotel that we were at out there a little ways away, but not too far. I was like, we're gonna Uber in, like what's that gonna cost us? So then we were like, what's a car rental cost us? So we start looking at car rentals, and we start looking, and you can get a grocery getter, or for like $3 more a day, we could get a convertible Mustang. That was a no-brainer. For $3 more a day, we got the convertible.
Hey, no-brainer is the perfect term for what you did.
Yeah. So we did, and we cruised around. Ethan's like, hey, this is my first time ever in a convertible. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So yeah, it was fun times.
So for people that don't understand this, if you have a car at Nationals, the grocery getter is an interesting one for somebody who isn't married or has kids. You need a vehicle that more than 2 adults can get in. And I'm 5'5". Listen, here's how I know you screwed up. You pulled up, my mom goes, why did they rent that? Okay,
that's probably a winner. That's probably a winner right there. That's 100%. Mama is never wrong.
Rarely. But
Yeah.
like, so that was one of the great weekends, though. That event, we had a world champion out of there, another world medalist, a bunch of Fargo champs. Germantown was a great host. That was a very cool campus to be on, the food truck, every time there's something a little bit different. And, we need to thank Nike for their partnership with Border Brawl and Resolite Mats and, all the military branches that are a part of it. And the coach out there, Stoudemire, that guy is a G, man. Cause like we had worked out some stuff and I think there's a place called Chicky and Pete's or something like that. Like it's really good crab fries or something. So he had a food truck with this other place. And when we get there that day and we're setting everything up, you know how it's kind of controlled chaos. And then the food truck pulls up and it's Chicky and Pete's. And I was like, dude, what happened? He goes, oh, the other place canceled. So I just called these guys. Like everybody knows this is better anyway. I was like, I freaking love you. I freaking love you, bro.
Those were good. They were dope. I had 2 orders. Not gonna lie.
Those things matter though, right? Like people remember that, like cool stuff like that. So like we've got some cool stuff coming up with Border Brawl that we're very excited about. So
let's just jump right into it.
Yeah, speaking of Border Brawl, do you want to kind of explain what Brawl and what are part of that?
Yeah, we'll go backwards and then forward. So in 2013, there was a young man here that had PTSD and committed suicide. And so there was a family that wanted to do an event to honor him. And they wanted to do an MMA event. Long story short, we were blessed. It was very successful. We only had like an 8-month runway. So Randy Couture let us use his 501c3, the Extreme Couture GI Foundation, which is set up and run by his gym staff. So they don't have any overhead for veterans. At the time, it was just with amputations. And one of the reasons I'm proud of what we've done is they've added PTSD to the list of folks they help. And PTSD is sort of the non-visual scars that people have. And we could talk about stories about that, but we'll just keep it upbeat. But anyway, so that event happened. And then 2 years later in 2015, the Nationals were in St. Louis and the Sports Commission said, we want to do 9 days of wrestling because they had the D2s and then the D1s. And so I have this idea because my dad runs this East-West all-metro meet here. I think almost everybody, like we do St. Louis, Missouri against Illinois, like Oklahoma has like all state, like maybe it's like Oklahoma versus Kansas. Like there's a bunch of these all over the country. I'm not trying to say my dad's the only one doing it, but I at least saw a blueprint. Like it was cool, I said, I want to do this thing with Missouri against the bordering states. And he goes, what do you need from me? He gave us 2 tickets, rafter tickets to every kid that would wrestle.
Nice.
So there was 2 people I had to get. And you guys tell me if I was right. I got Sandy Stevens. She was the voice of wrestling at the time.
Yes.
So if you hear her tell you to clear the mats, A, you get off the mats, and B, the event is serious.
Yep.
And B, we got Joe Smith. I don't know if I've ever said this publicly on the air, but Joe Smith was absolutely critical to the level of credibility of the event, right? Like he was the number 1 ranked kid in the country. He's from a bordering state. And back then we could only do seniors. We figured out why you don't have to do that anymore. But at the time we can only get seniors. He was a senior. Plus he was friends with Boo Llewellyn. He was friends with Cade Brock. And, I've talked to you guys about this off the air. Like when you have sponsors, like especially Nike, there's no corporate person in the world go, well, we're not going to support your event. It's too small. Like, well, Nike doesn't think that. Yeah. Like, John Smith's coming to the event, his son's wrestling in it. And so it really helped us. And we had some amazing matches like Cade Brock wrestled Jaden, it was Jaden Clayton then, now Jaden Ironman. Joe wrestled. There was a bunch of guys that ended up being All-Americans. We recently just put together like the Outstanding Match plaque, the Outstanding Wrestler plaque, the Impact Award plaque. We could talk about who those are named after if you guys want, depending on our time. So we did it in 2015. Then we did it in 2017 when Nationals were here. And then we started just doing it wherever Nationals were. And then we do ours in the fall here. And it's St. Charles, but if you know your way around St. Louis, it's basically kind of a half an hour away suburb of downtown St. Louis. Yeah. And, we've had various people stream it, but Jeremy, ever since we had the most hospitable of introductions at the Hall of Fame duels, we can talk about that. But you guys have been my peeps. Haylee and I worked together at the Beat the Street Chicago duels. Talk about a savage. She door dashed or Uber eated headphones.
The headphones. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So like, and listen, that's the beauty of youth, because she ran across that gym way better than I could have. I look like an old sewing machine. Just so, but I called you about that. I was like, hey, here's some ways I think that you can help her, but the hustle is great. And I love your fam. And so like, if I call you like, hey, this is a suggestion. So anyway, so in 2026, it's going to be at St. Edward High School, which if people are somewhat caught up on the history of collegiate wrestling, they had a Division I All-American for 26 years in a row. If you go through that wrestling room, they have the bracket boards of every kid that won state, won Fargo, or was an NCAA champion, maybe an All-American. It's an old indoor track. So the history of that place, like I did a video, 2 minutes, showed it to my dad. I go, so Dad, when we get there 9 a.m, just keep your phone on you and I'll ping you when lunch comes. Because he just, trust me, if I didn't have to sit up that day, I would do, like, we're all going to go in there for 10 minutes together. So, and then in 2027, we've made an agreement to have it at Ballpark Village. And we're massively excited about that, along with the last thing we're going to talk about. But we're the only people to ever run a wrestling event in Union Station, St. Louis, Union Station, Kansas City. And they've had MMA in Ballpark Village, but never wrestling, and we'll be the first ones. 2 other things. One, we have a very generous person from the private sector that has agreed to sponsor Olympic level matches up to a very significant amount of money. I'll just say that. And also to help us, like if we need to get a kid a hotel room or something else for the elite high school matches we've done.
Yeah.
So, and then the last thing is we're going to be streaming with EWP, and we're super excited about that. Very excited. It's sort of like the full bundle, right? Like, okay, we know these people can get us on the air, and you guys are business partners of myself and Border Brawl and Hall of Fame duels, but you guys are my friends, and we've talked for a long time. If you can work with your friends, that's the absolute best, right? Like, because Haylee, did Jeremy ever tell you the story of the Oklahoma Border Brawl Wi-Fi?
Where I didn't have, I think you might have came to the meeting with me where we ended up, like, they were supposed to get us a hard line. They were having issues with the NCAAs that somehow took precedence over us. I don't know why, but so finally, I whipped out one of those little devices, that we carry around, and I just picked up a couple more up, whipped one of those out, converted it to hardwire, and we streamed the event. Nobody ever knew any different.
We go to Arena Pub afterwards, and it's like Jeremy, me, one of our sponsors, and then Nike and Reslite. We're just hanging out at a table, and Jeremy comes over and he goes, all right, my mom should not watch this 60 seconds, but he goes, are you sober? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, have a shot. So I have a shot. Comes over like 3 minutes later. He goes, are you sober? I'm like, yeah, I'm still good. He goes, have a shot. I get another shot. Comes over like 3 minutes later. He goes, you sober? I'm like, not really. And he goes, they never gave us the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
He goes,
never gave us the hardline internet.
And he goes, and it was just fine because I'm him. Oh, that is the greatest way to introduce bad news I've ever heard in my life. Because to be fair, okay, I don't consider I think I'm a very happy, buzzed person. Would you agree with that? Like, I'm not a mean drunk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
You got me nice and buzzy, and then delivered the bad news, and then chalked that up to, and I already took care of it. It actually saved us $1,500.
Yeah,
it was the best. And to be fair, so people that don't know, your guys' donation is you help us with your normal fee structure. That's your donation to our event, which is massively appreciated.
Yep.
And
it's a way to give back to the veterans and all of the couture stuff. So we enjoy it. We do it every year. Make the trip to St. Louis and also wherever the Nationals is at. So it's been a great time.
Well, the good news is you're already coming to the Nationals most years, so that's been easy. And then we appreciate you coming to St. Louis. It's awesome, and you guys have gotten other business now because of that in the St. Louis area. Like that Thrasher tournament's only about 15 minutes from where my event is. You know, I mean, you've got to meet the Boys and Girls Club director. Us all go have wings together with Randy and that kind of stuff. So it's just, it's been a great partnership, and, you know, very appreciative of what you guys do, because people want to see it, you know, and, you know, that's meaningful. We're putting together the website. We have people, staff doing that now, and to go through the history of everything and to have all the matches up there is really cool. I think there's one or two we still have to have you help us on, but the history of it's really good. And I think you and I are working collectively on a model that might give people even more access to it. I think we should have that figured out maybe the next 60 days or so.
Yeah, that's definitely in the next 60 days we should have a platform and all the details going, and be able to talk through that. So
and working on like more cameras, you know, more smoke and mirrors, stuff like that. Like we have that in the budget. So for most people who are historians of wrestling know who Tadaka Hata is. A legend at Oklahoma State. Was son Ben was part of, he did the Clash of Dynasties, and he was also part of Foxcatcher. So he's kind of a social media genius. And so we're going to hire him to, once we get these matchups put together, kind of like after Iron Man and stuff, to promote, which I think that's the way I describe it. Is I think we've gotten fairly good at the steak, but we need a lot of improvement on the sizzle, like the marketing side of it. And like you look at like Flow, and they did both this weekend, you know, like both sides, and they're just better at the sizzle right now than we are. They have more staff, but they're better at it. And so to be able to, but they killed it. Like, you know,
they did a great job.
Gotta give them that. Like, you know, they did the deal, right?
Yeah.
So I think that'll be really helpful. One of the cool things, Haylee, that I don't know if you know Jeremy did. I mean, I'm sure you know he did it, but he comes up to me one year and goes, "Hey, I think I have this idea where after the kid wins, we can interview him or her and ask him a couple questions, and then we can clip the interview to the match." I'm so dumb. I go, "What does the clip thing mean?" He goes, "It means like if you want to watch that match, when you're done, you can watch your son or daughter be interviewed." I go, "That's awesome. Do it." He goes, "What if it doesn't work?" If it doesn't work, I'll blame you. And if it does work, I'll take all the credit. So either way, it's a win for me. And you know, I do the opposite. Like these moms and dads will come up and be like, "Susie got interviewed," and I walk them over to you. I'm like, "Thank him." I said, "I don't even know how to get my computer out of the box." You know,
and I got to give some props to the kid in the room who's taken that interview process and made it so much better.
Really?
Been able to add like names and stuff to it, and so we've gotten. You know, she's like, "Oh, I can also do this and this to it," and I'm like, "Oh, that's even better." So we've taken that idea and Haley's been able to run with it, expand it. So it's been pretty cool. We'll try to bring that in at this Border Brawl. So
you got to know what you're good at and what you're not good at, and you try to surround yourself by the people that are better at what they do than you are at what you do. And you know, like the Hall of Fame duel stuff that we put together, it was insane. You know, some of the Border Brawls we've done have been insane. And, you know, through the generosity of our donor, I think the Border Brawl is going to go massively up. I mean, like we had the Jax Forrest Larkin match. You were there for that a year and a half ago. And, you know, it's good when the guy that lost that match won the Pan Ams. You know, like, you're like, okay. Yeah.
I mean, that was my first introduction to Jax, and he was very dominant in that match, and he's been dominant ever since. So certainly looking forward to him putting on the orange in January.
Yeah, well, they're saying he's going to get his 5 duels, and then they'll see. And I'm like, I don't think they're going to see. You know, like they need a medalist there, and I think he's I picked him versus Blaze in the preseason, which is awesome. Which is tough with Davino and Ayala and Bird, but these young kids, man, they're special. It'll be interesting. Bird and Jax to me are this like complete contrast in styles and body types, and neither one will have had a feel for each other. So that'll be interesting to see.
Good stuff. So lots of good matchups coming. Again, so the big announcement, EWP partnering with Border Brawl. Bring you the event in March. Ahead of the national tournament.
We're going to put you in touch with Ben in January, like once the matchups are done, and we have a budget for that and how it can be distributed, the best. So do I have time to tell the story about how we met?
Go for it.
Okay.
Close this out with the story of how we met. It'll be a fun one.
Yeah.
I always tell this. Let me preface with this. I tell this in person, and then I'm always like, but you got to ask Dave because he tells it way better.
So you tell the punchline better, which we now have to edit. Okay. But so this is the first Hall of Fame duels. And I had heard of you. I knew like you were really good at streaming. I never met you. And they had said they hired you. And like they were going through all these steps because I'm the tournament director. I'm like, we're going to get these referees and this people run the hospitality room. Like, and this guy's going to do the streaming. I'm like, I asked one dumb question. I'm like, does he know how to work with Flow? Because, it does matter. And they're like, yeah. They're just like, yeah, like stupid question. I'm like, okay, which is fine. In hindsight, it was a stupid question. But as in my role, it was a smart question.
Yeah.
So Mike Palazzo is a pretty good friend of mine from Lake Highland Prep. And he calls me at like, what would you say, 8 or 9 o'clock the night before?
Yeah. It was pretty late. We were running around doing the last final touches set up.
Maybe 9:30 calls me.
Yep.
Okay. Like I'm not supposed to be sober at this point in the evening the night before. Okay. Like that's in my contract. Okay.
That's fair.
And I get a call and he's like, why'd you kick me out of the tournament? I go, what are you talking about? He goes, we're not in the tournament. I go, you're in the tournament. He goes, and he sends me this text. And it says, you have been removed from the National Wrestling Hall of Fame duels. I said, I don't care if you get the Declaration of Independence. You're in the tournament. Show up tomorrow for weigh-ins. I will get you an email or a text within 10 minutes. So I call Leroy and I go, who did this? Because I would start with Jeremy Rooks. I go, do you have his number? I go, yes. I go, hey, what the hell is going on? That might have been cleaned up a little bit too. And Jeremy goes, oh, it's no big deal. Like we entered him twice, so we just took him out once. I go, did you tell them that that's what happened? Well, no. Do you think that would have been a good idea? Yeah, I guess.
Maybe.
I said, these dudes flew halfway across the country and they think they're out of the tournament right now, and I'm getting yelled at instead of you. So you go, here's the text, the explanation, the whole thing. So I forwarded to him, I call him, we're fine. So the next day, it's a split day weigh-in. Me and Jeremy are already on the best of terms now. And so they weigh in the first 8 teams and then the second 8 teams. And I never thought about the weigh-ins. Like that's what you and Ethan were kind of handling.
Yep.
So the way you tell it is you ask Ethan, you ask everybody, and they're finally like, I don't know, ask the Panda. He'll tell you what to do. And so you come over and you go, hey, where do you want me to hold weigh-ins? And the way Jeremy tells it, Haylee, is I go, wherever the heck you want.
Something that rhymes with that, maybe.
And you look at me, go, good. And then like we went out that night and we were golden. Like I feel like we've been friends ever since. Because because I do the play-by-play when I can in between those rounds. And like, I know what it takes to have all those boards, the motherboards up and the headsets. And the second year when it went to that 9 criteria semifinal, which was an unbelievable duel, Edmund North and Poway, it was great because like, that's a great story. I'll tell it very quickly and I'll get out of your guys' hair. But like, so one person's going through, like, I think you were going through Flow or whatever the digital version was. Willie was going through another version. Ethan and I were going through a third version. And then Edmund North had a scorebook.
Yeah.
Well, Poway didn't bring a scorekeeper because it's $900 to get there. And the coach, I've known that coach since we were 14 years old. He beat me in Greco when we were 14. So I've known this guy a long time. And he puts his arm around me, like really nicely, like gently, and goes, David, there's no way we're deciding this duel on the Edmund North scorebook. I said, I completely agree, coach. I said, we have 3 or 4 different processes. If any of them don't jive, that's the first one being thrown out.
Yeah. That's fair.
I mean, right? And he goes, good. By the way, does anybody know what criteria I is in a high school dual meet?
I do.
You do. Haley, you know it's
I did
not.
not before that day. Did not before that day, but I definitely
It's
know
the
now.
number of first points scored in a match. And so that's how dumb this is. Like if we go 0-0 and it's my choice and I pick down and then Jeremy just says neutral and gives me a point and then headlocks me and pins me or tech falls me, for the criteria, it's 1-0 me.
Oh,
First
yeah.
point scored.
So you know
And
how
again,
dumb.
and note that this is after things like near fall and most points scored and all of those other criteria. We've gotten past all of that.
Well,
Now
I
we're-
think the criteria, the number one is like the most matches won, and then is there's any unsportsmanlike stuff.
Yeah.
Then the most 6-point decisions, 5-point decisions, 4-point decisions.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a letter I. Now, to our credit, Jeremy, the next year we had that criteria sitting on every table.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then when Mass Perry tied Edmond North, I was sitting with my pop. I was talking about last night because we were talking about how they screwed it up at Tulsa. They announced the wrong winner of the duel.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it took them 20 minutes to announce the wrong team.
Virginia, was that Virginia Tech, Illinois?
Yeah, it took them 20 minutes to announce the wrong team. You should be able to get the wrong team right away, just to be fair. like you should be able to screw it up fast. Okay.
Yeah.
Like most of my screw ups in life just happened very quickly based on bad decision making. I didn't contemplate it and then absolutely go wrong direction. But with 2 matches left, I'm sitting next to my dad. I go, this goes this way. Mass Perry wins. If it goes this way, and the North wins. And I had it pulled up. I showed him. So when the duel was over, you and me called him right over. We go, here's the criteria. Tech in the decision beats 2 majors. And everybody just shook hands. And it was awesome. Like it took us 2 minutes to call him over.
Yeah. Lessons learned in life, man. Lessons learned.
Yeah, I had a full head of hair before the Hall of Fame duel started.
I don't know about all that.
Not a gray hair. So
That's
yeah.
fair.
Those were great tournaments, and we're rebuilding one out east with Willie, the Fab 50 duels, and that's going to happen here in a couple of weeks. And that's been a new thing because I coached college for a long time, but we coached junior college, so we weren't recruiting out of Del Barton and Edmond North and Stillwater. And I'm so old. We coached Ethan Kyle's older brother, so at Merrimack. So these coaches have been awesome. The Brian Stolls of the world, the John Myers of the world, the Andy Schneiders of the world, the Cornell Robinsons, who my dad and I coached. They're all good people, So, but yeah, I guess in summary, I'm super excited. I told Randy what we were doing. He obviously knows you guys, and all along the way, like whenever anybody does something to support us, like I go, hey, we're not paying the labor for streaming, and I don't have to go buy headsets or anything like this. These guys just show up and kill it. And so obviously he's appreciative of that. And, we hope to put on even more amazing matches, which I don't have any doubt we'll be able to do.
Yeah.
Right now we're talking to Nike about help us bring in a Japanese contingent. And so, we have to figure out with some of these guys who are signed with organizations and women, if we can have them for one match or if we just need to look elsewhere. But there's so many good wrestlers that people want to see. Like it's going to be amazing. And the high school matches, we've always done a good job with that. Sometimes a great job, but I think it's going to be phenomenal. Not that any one match is better, but I think we can put together like 5 Jack's Forest, Kyler Larkin kind of matches. So, and I think if you see 5 of those, it's like, wow, okay. It's worth the price of it.
Yeah. So certainly. Yeah. And all a charitable thing, which is awesome for the vets and all that. So
well, we're also working on structuring the tickets now where they're actually a donation to the charity instead of just purchasing a ticket. It's a long story short, but the IRS lost our determination letter. So that was fun digging. I literally cried the day it came in. Like I didn't weep, but I did cry. It was important, because when you go look for grants and stuff like that, if you don't have a determination letter, you look like you're just making stuff up, So the credibility there is awesome. But I want to thank you guys for, what you guys do, because most of us are not like me where we can just kind of hop on a plane or a car and go where we want every weekend. Like most people are actually responsible adults, not like me. And so, like, for people to be able to watch things and have great quality stream and have the interviews, like every year I have 4 moms and dads come up to me and go, my son got interviewed, my daughter got interviewed. And these kind of things that you guys are being innovative with and taking chances. And we've talked off air. I'm a big fan of anybody that takes a chance, even if they fail. Like the duels this weekend, they did not fail. They didn't come close to failing. Okay. They failed one thing. They didn't know who won the duel. Okay. But it's like an A/A minus, like,
right.
I mean, like they did so many other things right. Right.
It was an awesome event. If you weren't there this year, be there next year. But they've already announced dates. November 14th and 15th, is that right?
It was the same weekend. Same weekend.
Somewhere around.
Same weekend. Get your, and they do it on a Saturday, Sunday, right? So like you don't have to miss any school. And teams should come in. I don't know how many of those tickets they sold, but they were doing like $10 tickets for kids. Yep. So, they're trying, I mean, they're losing, that guy's losing a lot of money on that event. So like people that lose a lot of money, like, I don't care if they get some money back, like good for them.
Yeah.
I mean, because like I said, the guy goes, we gave $1 million. I go, bro, that's a start. And they go, what do you mean? I go, if somebody goes, we need 10 more hotel rooms, he doesn't say to somebody else, figure it out. He goes, they put it on a tab. It goes on his tab.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure he spent well over $1 million on that event, and big props to him. So the Paycom and all the big sponsors. So it was a great event.
Yeah, and it's great. And listen, Tulsa. It's funny because people go, Tulsa's one of your favorite places to go. I'm like, yeah, I got people there. I got family there for real. Ethan and I, Ethan came in. We saw him with Steph. He did the anthem. Yep. And, Ethan doesn't get invited to an anthem without having done Hall of Fame duels.
Right.
You know, so the world's very Hakuna Matata.
Did a phenomenal job and has certainly proven his worth. But certainly props to you for getting his foot in the door there and so many other places, man. So
well, I told him I was his voice coach.
We love us from Ethan Carl. That's for sure.
I told him I was his voice coach, and they almost disqualified him immediately.
Probably so.
That would be fair. Yeah. But we're going to see you in January, right?
Yep. Yes. Yeah. January 3rd, 2nd, 3rd.
We're bringing gifts.
It'd be a fun time.
We're bringing housewarming gifts. Haley also correctly got a hoodie like the shirt I had.
I did. I should have wore it.
That would have been great. Yeah.
I know. I should have put it on. It actually just got cleaned. So
there's this knockoff Nike brand. The company's called Iron Panda, and it's got a panda sleeping on the swoosh, and it says instead of "let's do it," or they said "you do it," and it's the panda sleeping there. So
yeah.
So we were all hanging out after the Border Brawl, and she goes, "Where'd you get that?" I show her, and I'm like, "Oh, I know she's ordering something."
I did.
Yeah. Well, it's always terrible whenever I tell people about clothes that they all immediately look better in it than I did. So that's something I got to work on. So, but listen, on behalf of Border Brawl, on behalf of Randy and the foundation and my team, me, Mario, Britt, Daria, all the people that help with what we do, we're super excited to partner with you guys. And we appreciate you taking us on because I know how many events you guys do in a year. And we're going to do our best to make sure that we are one of your showcase events.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
So looking forward to it. Dave, thanks so much for joining us. Haley,
congratulations on the podcast too.
Well, thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank
I think
you.
I think I proved to you it takes very little talent to get one started.
That's fair. So cool. Any final words?
No, thank you, Dave, for coming on and talking about that for us.
Yeah, it's awesome. Thank you guys for the hospitality this weekend too. Yeah. Like
Absolutely.
Ethan and I were at lunch Sunday, and we're just talking about how, when we travel certain places, like we just know we're going to get treated right. And that makes the trip. Ethan and I both travel a lot of times alone. And it's nice when you go somewhere like Grant was alone and, like we just got people to hang out with, and it's the road life can get lonely sometimes. And it's nice to have people that they just, hey, these are my 6 friends. You're the 7th friend now. We're all hanging out,
Yeah.
No, listen, that's that's a lot more fun than paying $80 for the fight and watching it on your phone in your room. Like, it's just a lot more fun. It makes the whole weekend more fun. So
For sure.
all right.
Hey, thanks so much, man.
Yep.
We'll see you.